And on this video, I'm going to show you the setup and activation process for the Launch X-431 CRP919 series scanners. And as always, I'd like to remind you that I place a link in the description down below to this scanner in case you'd like to get one for yourself. Now, you'll notice that there are two ports on the top of the scanner, and one of them is going to be a full-size USB port. The second one is going to be a USB-C port. Now, I want to make sure that I fully charge this tablet via the USB-C port before I begin the activation and setup process. Also notice that there is a power button on the opposite corner right here. So I'm going to press and hold that button down until the tablet turns on. And the software is going to automatically launch, and what you'll find is your model number in the upper left corner, including the version of the app that you are currently running. Now also notice that there are several icons in the bottom that allows us to navigate this tablet like a traditional tablet. The first thing we're going to do is going to be create a login for us to update this tablet. However, in order for us to log in, we're going to have to connect the tablet to the internet. So we're going to select other modules. Now you're going to find the tablet settings icon. I'm going to tap that icon, and what I'm looking for is going to be the Wi-Fi connection. And you can see this says network and internet, so I'm going to tap that, and then it's going to say Wi-Fi. I'm going to click on that to turn on the Wi-Fi. I'm going to press on this little slider, and that is going to look and search for Wi-Fi's in my area to connect to. Now I can select the Wi-Fi I want to connect to by tapping on it and enter the password for it. And after successfully connecting to your Wi-Fi, you can use the back arrow to go back to the main menu. I'm going to go back one more time, and you'll notice that you're probably going to get this pop-up telling you that there is already a newer version of the software that it is being run. So you're going to choose to either skip the version or update it. I recommend updating the main software before updating the individual modules, so I'm going to tap update. And while we wait for this to update, I want to point out that the app is not an app that you can find on the Apple Store or Google Store. This app comes preloaded in the tablet. So you want to be careful that you don't blank out the tablet because you will lose the app. Now, if you do lose the app, you can contact Launch and they can provide you with another copy of it if you have the right credentials. Now, as you can see, now it's asking us if we want to install the update. Yes, I'm going to hit install. And finally, you get a confirmation that the app has been installed, and you can hit open and the app is going to launch again. And if you go back to the upper left corner, you can still see the model number, but also you'll notice that it now reflects the current most up-to-date version of the Launch app, which is different from the individual car modules that are used to diagnose the vehicle. But before we do that software update, we're gonna have to create a login. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap on login. And as you can see, it wants a username and a password. So if you have one, you can just punch that in. But if this is the first time you are using a Launch device, you're gonna wanna create a new one by tapping on New Registration. And here you can create your account by creating a username, creating a password, and entering the information that is required on this form, and then checking off this box, and finally hitting the register button. But I do want to show you that you only need to enter the information that has an asterisk. For example, if you don't want to give out your phone number, you don't have to put that on there. This one right here requires me to enter the number that is shown on this side to prove that I am a human. And now I can tap register. And now I can enter the serial number and activation code. And that number is found on this piece of paper that also comes with the scanner. You'll find the serial number in this area right here, which I covered up, and that's gonna go into this area. And the activation number is gonna be inside of here. Now, I do wanna point out that that code is private and confidential, so make sure that you do not share that information with anybody, because this is what you're paying for. This code is what activates the scanner and the software. Also, Launch recommends that you inspect this PA, and you might be presented with an option to update the software. I'm gonna hit update immediately. Finally, we are now presented with the main download screen. This download screen shows all the core modules that are available to update for the software and all the different modules for the different car brands. So I'm gonna hit update. And as you can see, there is a ton of software that is being downloaded, which is great. This is an indication that Launch is constantly updating and releasing new modules, new capabilities, new features, new car models. And I'll scroll down so you can see all the cars that are supported on here. Now remember, these scanners do come with a certain number of years of updates depending on the package that you got. So my recommendation would be to make sure that you always keep your scanner updated at least right up to the day before you're about to expire. That is if you don't intend on renewing the support for this scanner. And most shops environments, since they're going to be dealing with a lot of different car brands, it would make sense to be subscribed to constant updates. Well, for the do-it-yourself people like myself who are probably not going to deal with all these different brands, I think the amount of years of support that you get with this scanner when you buy it is more than enough. And you got a lot of stuff on here. You got things that are made in the US, you got things that are made overseas. There's some brands in here that I have not even heard of. So this is definitely very, very capable. This is what we call an OBD bidirectional scanner. So it not only pulls codes from the car and allows us to diagnose the car, it also pulls live data so we know exactly what is going on in the car real time. But because it's bidirectional, and this is why it costs more than a normal scanner, it can send commands back to the car and can activate things like sensors, solenoids, and things that normally will require mechanics to go down into a car and manually apply power to or remove to test manually. We can do a lot more with this tool because it's bi-directional. So this, you can think of this as an OBD2 scanner on steroids. And look at this, it just keeps on going. Whew. Now, is there any cases where it would not make sense to even download the software or update the software? and every single module, should you selectively only update a few models that you know you're gonna work on? If you own a Mitsubishi, does it make sense just to download the Mitsubishi module and any of the core modules? Well, it kind of does, especially if you happen to buy one of the scanners that do not have expandable memory. This particular X-431 V4.0 does have expandable memory, so there is quite a bit of room where there is no concern about space. But technically, if you were very limited on memory, it's just like your phone. You could be selective about what exactly you update or which ones you don't even bother downloading because you know you are never gonna use. Also, at this point, I can leave the tablet alone and it will continue to update the files and I don't have to do anything. At this point, I am fully complete and done with the registration process. Now, if you guys did enjoy these videos, I do plan to make more videos for the X-431 in greater detail. So if that is the kind of stuff that you guys are interested on, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button to see more videos like this. And if you found any part of this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up button to support the channel. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.